Hey guys, thanks for watching Dirt Bike Channel. I'm your host Kyle Brotherson, and today I wanted to let you know that I'm kicking off a long-term review of this 2019 KTM 300 XCW TPI. Want to see if this sucker fails in its first 100 hours. Stick around.
I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought. There we go. I only went down one every time. I can do it good once. I go back and I say film it, and
So not too long ago, I was riding this bike and I said, hey, I want to go on record of saying this is the best 300 XCW that I have ever owned or ridden. And I want to stand by that. It is the best 300 XCW that I've ever ridden. And this is the 300 XCW TPI. This is the fuel injected bike. It runs like a champ. It's really amazing that way. And then I've had this thing revalved with full race tech suspension by the guys at Moto Experts. And I really love the way this feels. One of the common complaints that people have had with me recently is that you're only keeping bikes long enough to get them a little bit dusty, a little bit dirty, because you're only putting 10 to 30 hours on them. You don't get to tell us what happens if you keep the bike for 100 hours or 200 hours. Well, I don't know that I'm going to keep it for 200 hours, but I am going to put 100 hours on this bike, and I'm only going to do air filter changes and gear oil changes, and we'll see what happens. I've already done one gear oil change, because basically what I do is I will run them for somewhere around 2 to 5 hours, and then I'll do one gear oil change, and then I'll run it for 30 or 40 more hours, and I'll just go on 30 or 40 hour increments after that on my gear oil change on all of my off-road enduro bikes. So that's what I'm gonna do. If the brakes start to feel mushy or something like that, I may flush brake fluid through, or same thing with the clutch. But a lot of times I can take a bike up to 100 hours before I do any of that, and still everything is working in perfect working order. And since this bike is set up now so well, it's gonna be easy to hang on to, because I was saying this is gonna be a hard bike for me to get rid of, because this is the bike to go do the gnarly mountain single track, which we'll have coming up later in this year. And I plan on taking this to Wyoming and to Idaho and a bunch of different places, and really get into some of that tight stuff, the tight, nasty alpine stuff that this bike is actually designed for. So it'll be my primary bike for doing that this summer. And the 250XC over here is really sad to hear me say that, because that means a ton of time is going to be put into this bike, because I want to run this thing up to 100 hours and just see. And that way we can kind of see, like, hey, I know it's good, at how many hours does it have on it right now? This bike has 12.7 hours on it right now, and I want to see what happens as we take it up to at least 100 hours, and then kind of give you that full long-term review. Is it good for 100 hours? Because I do know that a lot of people have said you need to change the oil pump at 80 hours. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to run it to 100 hours and see what happens. And then maybe we'll even pull the top end off and take a look and see how everything looks after 100 hours with this TPI running as lean and clean as they do. So I just wanted to tell that to you guys, that is my plan for this summer, is to put some serious hours on this sucker and see if we have any failures before we get to 100 hours. So anyway, if you like these videos, please use the links down in the description. This is how I'm supporting my family now. Also, you're probably watching this video after March 1st, which means that you could enter to win this 2003 Honda or that 2019 Husky TE300i. Both those bikes are up for grabs, as well as a bunch of other prizes. I'm going to have 10 winners in this sweepstakes. I'm giving over $21,000 in prizes. All you have to do is get entered to win is go over to my website, dirtbikechannel.com. During the promotional period, it's going from March 1st until April 30th, and you can get entered to win either of those two bikes and then a bunch of other things. What are some of the other prizes that were donated? New Tech donated 2 sets of tubeless Flow Motorsports donated radiator guards and foot pegs. Rocky Mountain ATV donated a Tusk wheel truing stand and a Tusk spoke torque wrench. AXP donated a skid plate, one of their awesome skid plates. Electron Fuel Systems donated a carburetor, so there's a ton of things that you guys can get into. Visit dirtbikechannel.com right now to see how to enter to win those prizes. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.